Coming up on Eagle Vision News, we bring you the details on sky taxis in Los Angeles.
And we tell you more about upcoming holiday activities.
We'll update you on the latest with Biola's campus safety emergency notification.
All this and more coming up on Eagle Vision News. Hello and welcome to Eagle Vision News. I'm Bretton, Thuene.
And I'm Emily Heisinger. Our top stories tonight. A truck driver who was shot while driving caused power outages today in Santa Ana. Early on Thursday morning, in the alleyway behind apartments located on Townsend Street, a truck driver crashed his vehicle into several parked cars and then a power pole. Authorities say the driver had been shot at least 3 times and struck only once. The 25-year-old man was taken to the hospital and is in critical condition. Meanwhile, the reason for the shooting remains under investigation. There were no witnesses that saw what happened, and authorities speculated he may have been a random target in a possible gang shooting. Edison workers were on the scene early to fix the broken power pole, but areas surrounding it went without power for most of the day.
And the future might be closer than you think, as Uber has partnered with NASA to help develop air traffic management systems for their new flying taxi initiative. Uber recently unveiled its plans to introduce flying taxi fleets known as Uber Air. The 4-person ride-sharing flights won't be in the air anytime this year, but plans are set for flight demonstrations in LA, Dallas, and Dubai in 2020. Known for its unmanageable traffic system, Los Angeles is set to make for the best testing grounds for the flying vehicles. Uber predicts that a trip from LAX to Staples Center during rush hour would take less than 30 minutes in their sky taxis. The most exciting part, however, is that Uber expects to offer the rides for prices comparable to its UberX service. The goal is to make transportation fast and inexpensive, and Uber hopes that the service will be ready several years before the 2028 Olympics in LA. Exciting news for winter sports fans, as snowy conditions have allowed Mammoth Mountain to open this week. Second longest season in history, Mammoth Mountain is ready to reopen just 3 months after closing the slopes. The mountain received 1 to 3 inches of snow over the weekend, which, combining with residual snow from last season, is enough for riders to get on the hill. Up to a foot of snow was predicted to drop over the weekend, but the village only received a light downfall. However, the mountain is still poised to open regardless with the conditions they currently have. Opening day is set to have temperatures in the mid-40s, which is perfect for those heading up for some early runs this year. Mountain employees and visitors are hoping that this year's snowy season can stay even longer than the last.
And Thanksgiving might not be here yet, but a taste of Christmas came to Lake Arrowhead today. It's a popular seasonal venue called Sky Park at Santa's Village, and on its first day in operation, tickets were already sold out. Last year, it had such great success and visitor tallies that the park expanded for this season with a kids' play area. The park already holds an ice skating rink, a climbing tower, a train, restaurants, and of course, visits with Santa Claus. If you want to visit, you can go now through January, but you'll have to get tickets online ahead of time. However, be prepared to spend a little cash because tickets start at $49.
Last week, Biola students received a text alert that there was an active shooter on campus. And while this did turn out to be false, I wanted to investigate the truth behind this terror-inducing event. Last Sunday at 7:42 p.m., students at Biola University received an alert that an active shooter was on campus. The suspect was said to be located near Hart Hall, the lowest dorm on campus and closest to residential areas. While the suspect did not possess a deadly weapon, he was recently involved in an assault and battery in the White Rock neighborhood near Hart Hall. The head of campus safety, Chief Ojiskoba, stated that the suspect was attempting to hide near Biola's dorms and revealed how he managed to infiltrate the campus.
The suspect got on the campus by jumping over the wall, which is on the south side of Hart Hall.
The lower campus wall is only accessible through student ID cards, but can be climbed over. After making his way over the perimeter wall, the suspect found himself here behind Hart Hall. He then made his way to open student windows and began gesturing them towards him and banging on their glass. The suspect was asking for refuge in the student dorms, but after several refusals from Hart Hall residents, he moved on to the next building over, Stewart Hall, where he came face to face with sophomore ALEXIS GARCIA.
And I was getting ready to go to Singspо, so I had my door open. I usually like to leave my door open when I'm in my room because I like the fresh air. And I was brushing my teeth, and this man walked by my room, and he started asking me if he could come in my room, and if he could at all he was asking me if I had a rag or something that I can give him for his bloody hands.
Garcia quickly left her room to get help from people in the Stewart lobby, and one of her friends immediately called campus safety. Upon arriving on the scene, campus safety moved into action.
And while they set up containment, one of the officers from his position could see what appeared to be a resemblance of a person that appeared to be a resemblance of the suspect inside Stewart Hall lobby.
For the first time in history, Biola's campus safety implemented a procedure that they have practiced multiple times but have never had to do until Sunday. Arrest a suspect with guns drawn. The suspect was arrested at 7:50 p.m. and no students or officers were harmed. This is Bretton Thuene reporting for Eagle Vision News.
Well, Bretton, I thought it was really interesting. You got to sit down with our head of campus security, Chief O, and he had some good things to say about making changes on campus to the overall safety, especially behind Hart Hall. There's a lot to be concerned about.
It's definitely nice to know that campus safety is actively trying to ensure our safety as students, and it's good to always know that we are safe on Biola's campus.
Yeah, and we wanted to know what other students thought, how safe they feel here, so we sent out our reporter, Nicholas CARRENO, to see what they think.
Today at Biola University, I will be talking to a number of students and faculty, trying to understand their view on how campus safety handled the shooting scare incident that happened last Sunday evening here at Hart Hall and Stewart Hall. Did you receive the alert via text and or email about the shooting incident?
Well, my phone does not actually get the text. I don't know why.
I received it text.
I was near someone who had got the text immediately.
I was in the library. It popped up on the computer, and then got the message on my phone.
They both emailed and texted.
I received the alert through email.
Apparently I'm not signed up for the text.
What were you doing at the time?
I was at missions conference meeting. We were in the meeting and somebody got the text.
I was in the middle of homework on the middle floor of the library, and I rushed upstairs where all my friends were to see kind of what we were doing.
I was actually about to start taking my break, I believe, and the alert came through, and I figured, well, this is as good a break as any. Time to set myself secure and keep everyone safe around me.
What did you do to stay safe?
I didn't go to Biola.
I was in a missions conference meeting in the business building.
Because of my current position with the missions conference, I was more in charge of not just myself, but 100 other people responsibly. So I had to kind of freak out for a quick second of making sure everyone else was safe. And so I ran down the hallways a couple times to make sure that all the classrooms that the departments were in were all safe and locked and lights were turned off.
It was just my roommate and I in our room, so we decided to turn off all the lights, shut both our computers down, and obviously close all the blinds.
There's like a conference room where the door locks with no windows upstairs that they kind of crowded everybody into, and they locked the door.
I had some friends that grabbed scissors there on campus, in case they needed to fight, I guess.
Yeah. Do you feel campus safety handled the entire situation well?
Yes, I do. They sent an email, and within 10 minutes, they'd already captured it and sent that they got everyone captured and it was all safe.
It's very scary, especially since this is the second time in a year that we've had this active shooter situation.
It almost seems like they're a little trigger happy with the, no pun intended, but with the text messaging.
There was a lot of worry of an active shooter was the initial verbiage that was used, and so that created a lot of kind of worry and angst amongst a lot of the students.
They're doing their best and everything, and campus safety was doing a lot of jobs.
Do you feel there was any way they could have done better?
They probably could have found out if the guy actually had a gun before they said there was a shooter.
It was kind of interesting hearing kind of the lack of continuity of the alerts that were initially sent.
I think something campus safety could definitely work on would be making sure that everyone is signed up for the texts and the emails.
I feel like if I did get a text message, it would definitely have helped let me know about what was going on.
They could perhaps inform us what to look out for. They just mentioned suspect near this area.
At 7:42 is when you get the text message.
Yeah.
You got that text message. Yeah. Also at the same time, La Mirada blog posts the scare at the same time. Police activity, Biola University, Stewart Hall. So same thing. 5 minutes after La Mirada blog tweets, they also tweet that Biola's all clear, so 5-minute span. But 9 minutes after Biola's text messages, they text that it's all clear. So there's a 4-minute difference. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I felt like they were pretty efficient with the info that they had.
I think it should be reversed. I think campus safety should probably be telling us.
Largely a difference of 4 minutes, while in emergency situations is vast. I feel there were justifiable reasons behind it.
Internally, Biola wanted to take maybe even the extra measure to make sure things were for sure in a green light.
Generally, I feel safe since we are in La Mirada, and I do feel that campus safety does take their job seriously.
I definitely feel safe at Biola because campus safety is normally on top of these things, and I think about how well rated Biola is in terms of campus safety.
They do a great job with making sure their presence is known on campus.
Thanks, Nick. Well, on the lighter side of news, we have our reporter Krista Brown in the studio with the latest on entertainment. Krista?
Thanks, Bretton. On Friday, November 3rd, Sam Smith, London-based R&B pop artist, released his second album, The Thrill of It All. After winning 4 Grammys in 2015 for his debut album, In the Lonely Hour, there was much anticipation and growing excitement as the release date neared for The Thrill of It All, and Smith did not disappoint. The album showcases Smith's soulful high-tenor vocals, supported by minimalistic accompaniment. For the most part, either a piano or guitar joined by simple percussion. Several songs on the album incorporate a choir that bring an added depth and fullness for Smith's voice to effortlessly soar over. Emotionally, this album is very heavy as Smith delves into themes of hurt, searching, love, and longing for acceptance. A new Marvel film, Thor Ragnarok, was released on Friday, November 3rd. This newest installment in the Marvel Universe was directed by Taika Waititi and starred Chris Hemsworth as Thor with Mark Ruffalo as the Incredible Hulk. The storyline of the film intertwines humor and action in a way that keeps the audience engaged and laughing. The film has scored an impressive 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, and in the opening weekend earned an estimated $123 million, proving that both critics and fans enjoy this new, more comic twist on Thor. Harry Potter enthusiasts will be excited to learn that a father in Seattle has built his very own Diagon Alley. John Chambers wanted to find a way to bring his community together this holiday season, and following his daughter's suggestion, decided to build Diagon Alley. Over the course of 17 days, Chambers, along with friends and family, transformed a simple driveway into 6 of the iconic storefronts. During the first weekend of being open to the public, more than 3,000 people visited the Seattle Diagon Alley. They plan to keep it open through Christmas, and visitors are more than welcome.
Thanks, Krista. Now, I'm a student athlete here on campus, and we've been really excited about the competition between us and APU with the Cornerstone Cup, which I will say we're way ahead now. But our reporter Aisha Lee went out to the baseball field this week to get an update on them.
Thanks, guys. There's a lot going on in the realm of sports at Biola, especially with baseball and the Cornerstone Tournament. For the past 2 years, the Biola baseball team has been raising awareness for mitochondrial disease. On April 18, 2015, Biola signed its youngest player ever to the baseball team, 5-year-old Colton Ribeiro. When the coach heard about Colton's mitochondrial disease and his love for baseball, the coach decided to make an impact on his life. The team meets Colton twice a semester when he comes to games or the baseball team visits his classmates at school. The team also participates in a Blaze Pizza fundraiser that raises funds for mitochondrial disease research. The Biola baseball team plans on continuing their relationship with Colton for as long as he desires. Earlier this year, Biola University and Azusa Pacific University announced a new rivalry called the Cornerstone Cup. Here are the latest stats. Currently, Biola is leading 40-10. Volleyball has had 2 games so far this year, and APU won 3-2, but Biola won the second game 3-0. End of October, Biola participated in the Pac West Championship, where both women's and men's cross-country teams won against APU. Women's soccer is at a 1-1 draw, and men's soccer won their game 2-0. The next game against APU is scheduled on January 6th. Be sure to stay updated on the latest stats of this renewed rivalry. That's it for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Asia.
Well, now for our weather report, we have Alyssa Yee. And Alyssa, it looks like you're standing in front of a city that I don't think that's LA. Want to tell us more about it?
That is right, Bretton. This is not LA. If you take a look behind me, we're looking at Lake Michigan and the Chicago skyline. As you can see, the waters are turning just a bit as Chicago welcomes some cooler weather this weekend and an early winter with some freezing temperatures about to hit this weekend. Fortunately for us here in La Mirada, we kicked off the day with a cool, crisp 61. Warmed up a bit to a 73 in the afternoon, perfect for picnicking or disc golf, as we like to play here in La Mirada. And 61 again in the evening. There are sunrise and sunset times. If we take a step back and look at some national weather, you can see this large cold front coming in from Canada, sweeping in and affecting the Midwest primarily. That's actually responsible for the cooler weather in Chicago this weekend. And then here on the West Coast, we have much more pleasant temperatures, much more tolerable, pleasant, nice fall weather to go outside. And if you're looking for warmer temperatures at all this week, you're going to have to spend that either in southern Arizona or in Florida. Okay, and then if we take a look at our 7 days for the week here in Los Angeles, started with a 73 degrees, 71, fairly pleasant, clear skies, and then we go to the weekend where, again, very consistent, 71, 72, and it's looking like that trend is going to continue throughout the week. That is all the weather that we have for you. Thanks so much. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Alyssa. Well, we're definitely getting in the winter spirit with some deep blues going on here and some good matching. You'll have to see if we keep up with that, but that's all we have for you this week.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Biola EV. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.